Welcome to the Let's Pivot podcast, where we speak with founders and CEOs about their businesses and their business journey. Today, we're joined with Miss Gwenevere Crary. Crary, the founder and CEO of Guide to HR.
Hi.
Hi, good afternoon. How's your day going?
It's great. Thanks for having me on, Chuck.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. So, we're very interested. It looks like you're a little over 4.5 years old in business. All the statistics say the first 5 years, if you can make it there, you've really got something that you're going to be able to grow into, something a little bigger.
Love that. Yeah,
What's your,
go ahead. Sorry.
what are your, how's that journey been for you? Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to get into HR specifically and how that first 5 years has gone for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just really briefly, I got into HR accidentally. When I finished college, I graduated with the actuarial mathematics and management engineering degree and fell into compensation analyst because it's math. And I was like, what is this HR thing? This is cool. Got my master's in HR and grew my career, and 20 plus years later, here I am. And I had a very stressful startup company, was with them for 2 years. We grew the company from 120 to 600 employees, about 15 million in revenue to over 100 to 115 million in revenue. We delisted from the London Exchange, IPO'd on NASDAQ, had an M&A deal. And in those 2 years, we had this thing called, COVID. So a lot of people were unfortunately laid off or, lost their jobs, lost their businesses. I was in this thriving mode where I actually was working nonstop. I didn't actually take a vacation. And so when my husband was basically like, yeah, we're taking this vacation, got me off the wheel, I got back home and I'm like, I don't think I can go back. Took the hamster off the wheel and I'm like, I need a break. I have been going so hard and so strong. So took a couple months off, reflected what I wanted to do. And the crazy woman in me was like, I want to do it all over again. I love working with startups. I love working with founders. I love building that foundation of HR and making the right decisions for the business at that time for where they're wanting to go and just put it in place and make it happen. So I started building the business, had a friend reach out to me. He needed help. The business he was working in wanted to go from Mexico into the US. So helped him build all the HR US entity items. I was like, yeah, I kind of like this consulting thing. What can I do from here? And I was really blessed. In 6 months' time, with 5 clients, 7 people working with me. And I was like, I guess this is a thing. I guess we'll make this happen. So yeah, that's the beginning of my journey.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Being new, not having a history, how did you attract so many clients so quickly?
I mean, dumb luck. I don't know. I actually no. I'd say it's network, putting myself out there, telling people, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you know someone? Can I help you? Do you know someone that you can refer me to? Can you help me spread the word?" I was fortunate that one of my HR networks, they started creating a business that I basically would say it's kind of like a business generation company where they actually found a bunch of clients. And then they presented you with maybe 1 or 2 other people, and then you interviewed with the client. You may or may not got it, but that's kind of where 3 of my 5 first clients came from. One was obviously a network friend. I actually worked with him, and again, I helped him bring the business from Mexico into the US. And then I also networked through my chief network, Vistage network. So any network I could get my hands on and be a part of and interact and engage with people and really just kind of authentically show up, answer questions, bring support. I gotta tell you, there's so many times on network chat channels that people will ask a question and the answer is like, I can do that for you. Call me. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And it's like, that's not what the person asked, right? They asked a question, give them an answer, right? So I always try to provide an answer. And of course, with HR, it's kind of like, well, it all depends, which I hear my mother coming out of my mouth when I say that, but it does. It all depends. So I usually say, hey, generically speaking, based off of what you shared, here's how I'd answer it. However, I'm happy to dive into this more to provide a more custom answer to you if you want to give me a call free of charge. I want to provide you your answer you're looking for. And I got to tell you, 9 out of 10 times, those people don't call me, but the readers of that conversation are the ones that call me.
It sounds like you somehow figured out how to bring value, right? How to just add value from the start, from every interaction.
I try.
It sounds like that's really worked out good for you.
Yeah. And I mean, I have freebies right now. I have a free employee engagement survey, free AI assessment, helping you figure out where you and your business are in the whole AI journey and where you can improve. I have a free ebook out, Mind the Profit Gap. So I do try to put out a bunch of freebies. I try to share my knowledge because at the end of the day, I do believe that like I could have a 5-star chef give me his recipe or her recipe. I can guarantee you there's no way in heck I'm going to try to make that recipe for dinner tonight, right? I'm going to call them and be like, hey, you're going to make that for me tonight, right? So it's like the same concept. Give them the recipe. 9 out of 10 times they're going to call you because either they don't have time, they don't have the inclination, they just don't want to have to figure it out on their own. They know it's going to be faster. All these founders and the clients that I work with, they're all moving so fast that they don't have the time to just sit in a space, figure it out, execute it, make sure it's working, and then go, right? They just need it to go.
So let me ask you, what sorts of friction points are you able to automate out in the human resources space?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question, Chuck. I mean, you can start with the recruiting, right? There are a lot of areas in which you can do just in sales. You can automate a lot of the lead generation of recruiting. When you have someone come into your platform, you can do a drip campaign with them, right? To keep them warm, making sure that you move them along in the right stages and you don't ghost them. That is my biggest thing. I have been ghosted as a candidate, and I really try as the leader of HR that whomever I'm working with, my talent teams don't do that. We're all human. And when you bring in the tech, side of things, things happen, but that's like a big pet peeve of mine. I don't want people feeling ghosted. So there's that area. As simple as like, I have had CEOs who basically say, hey, I'm looking for this role. And I was like, okay, great. Give me like your top 5 bullet points of what you want this role to do. What does good look like? What do you expect them to accomplish in the first 90 days? Any other like tidbits you want about this role? And they're like, oh, well, I have a job. I don't want your job description. It's probably crap. Let's just be honest, right? So I get all that information and then I use ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever AI tool I'm using that day. And maybe sometimes all of them, right? I'm even in Notion. Sometimes I'll look at all 3 and kind of combine and collate what I think is the appropriate description. And then, service it up and share with them why I think this is probably a better format than what they're thinking about. Because a lot of times when leaders, especially higher level leaders, they're so busy, all they're thinking about is, I need this one problem solved. You can't go and hire someone for one problem. You need to be thinking about what is the ultimate ownership and short and long-term goals you want that role to do. I can't even, there was a job opportunity I had way back in the day, and I walked out and I told the recruiter, no, thank you. And they're like, what, why? And I said, because it's very clear to me that they are hiring for one thing right now. And as soon as that gets resolved, they're going to fire that person and go and hire someone else for the next issue, because that was their pattern. And so helping leaders figure out what they really need, not what they think they need at the time, kind of helping douse that fire so they can have a little bit more brain power.
Right. That makes complete sense. And let me ask you, for people on the other side of it, right? The people looking for the jobs.
Yeah.
Because that's a big concern for you. Obviously, you don't want people getting ghosted and
right.
You want to recruit top talent. What can people on the other side do to stay competitive when, resumes are scanned by AI and there are certain keywords and bullet points that may get you recognized or passed over?
Yeah, I hate to say it, using AI to help make sure your resume and your experience and skills are identified in a way that will resonate with the job description and the hiring manager. But really, it's connecting, right? I think you could step away from the AI. As a human, what can we do that AI can't? We can connect at that deeper level. I call it kind of breaking bread, right? So connecting with the recruiters, connecting with the hiring manager, just search, look for, manager of engineering at the XYZ company, or recruiter, or talent acquisition, or whatever role you're looking for, whom you think is going to be that manager. Find out who that knows people at that company. Could they make an introduction? And even if it's like, hey, I know the accountant at this company. I know you're an engineer. Okay, well, can you still make an introduction? That would be great. Hey, accountant, nice to meet you. I love this company. I really want to work here. Here's why. Would you be willing to introduce me to or share my resume with the hiring manager and the recruiter? So there's ways to kind of get in and make that human connection.
And do you think that's been getting lost over the past couple of years a little bit?
I think it has gotten lost significantly over the past couple of years. I think AI is actually enforcing it to come back, because it is the way to kind of get, not game the system, but get past it a little bit, or at least get a little bit more notice. And it's kind of like the cover letter. Do you do a cover letter? I used to never do a cover letter. Well, now with AI, I do a cover letter on everything I possibly can, because it just will help with the words that they're searching, right?
Right.
So I think in some cases, cover letters, that connection is actually coming back because of AI.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's going to make you stand out more than the person on Indeed that's just hitting quick apply 100 times a day. Right?
Exactly. I mean, how many times have you looked? I don't know if you're looking for jobs, but like, if for those listeners out there, if you're looking for a job, I've noticed recently, like, you go and it's been posted for 23 minutes and there's already over 100 applicants have applied. And you're like, okay, I'll just keep looking, right? Like, it's insane. And I think too, there are a lot of fake resumes out there that are applying. I think there are people out there that are applying to jobs that they don't really need, maybe to gain unemployment. Not sure, just my guess. There's also fake jobs out there too. So be really careful and mindful as you're applying what information you're giving, and don't give out personal information unnecessarily unless you absolutely know it's a legit person.
Always good information, always good advice.
There's my compliance hat for you. Security.
So I have to know, you have an amazing story. You have a great personality. It's fun to talk to you. You made it through. You're right there at the edge of your first 5 years. Where do you go from here? Like, what are your plans? How big are you going to get? Or
Yeah, so right now, just a small, I'd say mom and pop, but just me shop. I have people that work with me, not full time, but that will fill in the gaps or be the right subject matter expert. Or really what I try to focus on is, I love my clients. I don't think that they should be spending their money, hard-earned money, or their investors' monies to pay me at the executive rate to write a handbook or data enter their new hires. So I have generalists and I have managers and directors who work with me to help with that cost. And I think that's really resonated a lot with the startup founders I've been working with. And so right now I'm kind of working on the business, as I would say, instead of in the business. And what I mean by that is taking a step out and really trying to work on how can I grow the business. And I think really it's important to identify your question. What do I want out of this? Where do I see it go? Making those goals, setting up realistic mile markers that will help me get there. So I'm really kind of still figuring out that answer, to be honest with you. I'm not necessarily looking to be like, some Deloitte HR, Korn Ferry, company, but I do think I would love to see it be where I have maybe up to a dozen employees and we're supporting tens, maybe 100 or so clients and helping them really flourish.
yeah, sounds great. One of the areas that we're actually seeing a lot of automation is people creating like training courses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Using clones and chatbots and things like that for interactive question and answer. Have you looked at any of that stuff?
I've not. I mean, I've high level thought about it. Right now, I'm still really focused on my podcast, Scaling with People, and just kind of getting out and networking and using my time to connect with leaders and founders and business owners. I think there's so much content already out there. If I was going to do it, I really would want it to be something that people could walk away and feel like they got something out of it, which I have a very high standard for myself. So I think it would probably I probably would make a mountain out of that molehill really quickly, to be honest with you. I think I'll stay in my play lane, my swim lane of like AI technology. I'm a technology girl and a total rewards. Those are the two sides that I flourish in on HR. And I love it when I can come in and make someone's life easier by automating, streamlining, simplifying. I can't tell you how many times I go into business and I'm like, why do you have 100 steps when it will only take 2? Just like making it so much easier for people to run their business, for their employees to do their job and be able to move the needle forward. And then also the big key thing there is, do they even know what the needle is and where it needs to go to move forward? Because if they don't, they're just rats spinning in a wheel, not really sure, not really helping your business grow.
Right. Figuring out what those KPIs are and how to track them. Definitely.
And also making sure your employees understand what their daily job, what their daily function means to that KPI. I could tell you, hey, I want to grow my business 100% revenue. Okay, great. I'm not in sales. Good luck with that. Okay, but you are in customer service. You are a product designer. You are an engineer. You are accounting, interacting on the invoicing side. This is how you can help ensure we keep our customers.
Right.
Here's a fun fact, and I don't know if you know this. It takes 4 times more money to get a new customer than to keep a customer. And yet companies focus on getting new clients more often than retaining their clients.
Yeah, I think they used to say it in the South, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
I love that. That's great. Exactly. Yeah. So if you're thinking about growing your business, think about what business you already have and how you can retain that. That's also great PR for you. Can you get them to give you a video or written referral that you put on your website, right? Or you can use it in email. And can they be someone that you could do other work for? Can you do work for them more frequently or provide more services or products more to them? Think about it as like the frequency of sale and the cost per sale. Can you dial those up with your current clients or customers? And if so, your profit is going to go up as well.
That's very nice. I thank you so much for talking to me. Before I let you go, the last thing,
Yeah.
tell us about your book.
Oh yeah, mine, The Profit Gap, has some strategies about what I just said, actually. I just published it, and Chuck, I'm sure you'll share the link to the website, but it's closethegaptoday.com, and you can download it. It's a free ebook, so feel free to eat your heart out with the 22 strategies that are in that book, but happy to connect and answer any questions about it. And I just really wrote it. My heart was to go to those business owners. You said earlier before we started recording, you loved cooking. And so you started a restaurant and you didn't realize that your love was only going to be spent 10% of your time because the rest of it was on the business, selling, marketing, operations, finance, everything that needs to happen inside a business to be successful. And so many times I see these mom and pop shops open up, whatever business it might be, they got into it because that was what they loved to do. That's what they knew. But then now you're having to be a marketer. You're having to be a salesperson. You're having to be operations, finance. A lot of these people don't even understand what an income statement is or what the workflow would look like, right? So the book really resonates with more of like, let's get back to business 101, the foundation of the key things that you need to do to run your business. It's the Paro principle, which is the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of the time you spend in business. So that's what the book is about. What is that 20% you should be spending to grow that business? And unfortunately, it's probably not the area that you love, which is why you built the business in the first place. But if you can spend 20% of your time doing that to grow your business and get 80% of your revenue, then the 80% of your time you can go back and do what you love to do, whether that's cooking or the landscaping or the electricity work or whatever it might be.
I love it. I really love it. And I'm definitely going to give that check that out.
And there's a book number 2 already in draft mode about HR and another book that's percolating in my mind. So yeah, there'll be a sequel and a third book coming out probably soon too.
All right. We'll definitely be on the lookout for those.
Thanks, Chuck.
Well, thank you, Miss Gwenevere. I really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah, we'll have to stay in touch.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye.